I don't think we'll be fully ready until we get through the week. I mean, he's had 2 days out here, but the way he worked in the last couple of days, at the speed he's worked at, he's continued to show us that he's going to be in position on Saturday to be ready to roll.
Oklahoma State's run defense has kind of been one of the worst in the country this year. How do you look to take advantage of that with running back room of Scottaboo and Brown?
Yeah, I mean, that's really uncharacteristic of that group. I've known that group really well. I know those guys as friends and colleagues. I worked there for 2 years and know Mike really well and know all the guys there on staff. That's uncharacteristic of them. They got a good coaching staff, a good group, and they're going to give us everything we got on homecoming. I know that. Been there and coached there, been on that field, been in that stadium a lot. I know those guys really well, so they're going to do a hell of a job. I know that. They're going to be ready to roll. We've got to do it. We've got to take care of our business. We've got to continue to run the ball. We've been running the ball. We've been feeding Scat in the right way, mixing it up, taking care and protecting Sam when we need to do it, being able to run our run, play action, screen game, and really get back in a rhythm, And that's going to be, again, at the early stages of what we've done. I keep saying that to you guys, and I mean that really. The timing and the rhythm and of everything in the offense in the first, whatever it is, 7 games now and going to be 8 with a freshman quarterback and a lot of young guys. There's a lot of things that you kind of, sometimes when you get take a week off, you don't buy a week or your quarterback's out for 2 weeks, you got to get back in a rhythm. Yesterday was a really rusty day, we could tell. And, until you get a veteran group that's, 60 starts in and their year, whatever it is, red shirt year 9, and those guys are getting drafted at 40 years old, and you got that guy, you're like, it's got to be every day you're out here chipping away and grinding it up and trying to polish it up. So we got to do a good job on what we've continued to do and build good habits and be effective in first, second down, take care of the football, run the ball, and hopefully the rest takes care of itself.
What sort of things can you dig into on a second bye that you're not usually able to when you only have one bye a season?
Yeah, I mean, between the buys having about a 3-week spread, I think it was. I mean, for us, you probably a little bit more than you think in regards to what you maybe get if you're like in year 4 or year 5. Year 1, we still got a lot of stuff we could still untangle for guys. We can go back and we'll look at some things that we need to coach a little bit better. Young guys can hear it again. The young guys came out and developed into some stuff. You can kind of see a little bit of depth maybe and get a few more guys, a few more reps that may have to work themselves in maybe the course of a season of injuries. Redo your self-scout because you probably don't have everything all the way in to go, okay, this is we don't have that in year 1, maybe in year 2 you're way more versed with some complements of what you do in your system and what you're able to do. So there's plenty to get done in a bye week. There really is if you make sure you're pointed and that there's stuff that can optimize your performance.
To what degree does a negative or a ominous weather forecast for Saturday impact the way you call a game or game plan offensively?
I mean, the one thing obviously is just there's nothing I can do about it. You just got to prepare for it. I mean, the precipitation and the chance of thunderstorms. We got a wet ball drill out there. Anytime you see a week where you put on your checklist of stuff you got to get ready for in regards to inclement weather or noise on the road, time change, all those things. If you're doing what we do, and that's think about that and calculate it correctly, you ought to take them in consideration and do the best to maximize them in your work. And so, we can't all of a sudden whip it up and get the cloud seed right now and get it cranked up. But what we can do is we can get some wet ball drills going and get our guys with the idea that, hey, we've got to be able to get this ready if necessary. Loud the noise and being able to go on center and all the stuff you need to do on the road. We did it 2 weeks ago and time change, right? We started waking up way earlier and acclimating to the body change. And so I think Kenny does a good job, and I think as a staff we've got a good group of guys that coordinate as far as an idea of what you need to checklist minus just the scheme.
And running the football would seem to be a big priority.
Yeah, I think that when you're able to run the football, whoever you are, obviously that's we've done a good job with that this season. Then I think that helps you keep it on the ground game. You got to throw the ball in the weather. So I tend to believe that regardless of the weather, but it does help us. That I think that can be something we're hanging our hat on.
Any thoughts of going back to a place that you've coached before?
Yeah, I mean, I had such an awesome time there. That's such a great staff. I've known that staff for a long time, going all the way back to Coach Munkin, who's one of my best friends. And I've known Gundy for a really long time. I've known Dunn. I've known those guys for years and years and years. And pretty cool. It's an amazing spot. It'll be fun to see those guys before the game. We're all competitive, so we'll be ready to try to whip each other's ass. But at the end of the day, it was a really special spot with really cool people. Won a lot of games. Had some really good games, really good players, and it's a special place to us.
Kenny has said Coach Gundy is kind of one of his influences when it comes to head coaching. What did you take from your time with Coach Gundy and applied it here with Kenny at OSU?
Yeah, I mean, he's pretty special. I mean, there's not, and we do that. You can say that. Everyone knows that. There's 4 or 5 guys that in the country. There may be 3 now that have the 2-decade mark. I think between Calhoun, Whittingham, and Gundy, you got a very small population of people, too, which I'm pretty close with. And I think the thing you take from guys who've been able to stay at one place or have success over 20 years, even if it was in multiple places, is just the consistency. I mean, the ability for them to be able to message each year and consistently recruit, evaluate, keep their pedal down, make the changes necessary over the course of time as the game has changed, recruiting's changed. I mean, there's a lot to be said about someone in this industry who can stay the course for that long. It obviously reflects on him as a person, reflects on him as a communicator. He's very authentic, he's tough, old school, small town guy, kind of like me, and likes it a little dirty and not afraid to mix it up. Real honest, authentic, and that's the way the program is. I mean, you watch those guys play; they're for the most part of the course of those years, they're tough, rugged football team that plays hard, coached well, and they're reflective of their coaches and the past experience that they've had with those coaching staffs they've had.
You guys good?
Yep. Thanks.
Appreciate it.